I will be talking about my cancer story. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sydney. So today, as I said, I was talking about my cancer story. So we'll start off with what type I have and how I got it. So the type I have is ALL, which is one of the most common cancers you can get. It is leukemia, so it's basically leukemia. So you can have ALL, AML. They're the two most common leukemias you can get. So I got the most common, and it's the most treatable and easiest to get rid of. So with that, how that is made, it is made either in your blood, well, it's made in your blood, but it can also be made in your bone marrow, which also has blood in it. So how mine was made is a white blood cell that doesn't get fully developed, which means it's mutated, will be formed and go into your bloodstream. What happens then is your white blood cells and your red blood cells create more of that kind. Unfortunately, this white blood cell multiplies and unfortunately takes up the whole blood system because it won't die. So that means there's no more space for my red blood cells, which you need to obviously be healthy. And then I was also vegetarian at that time, and also being a girl on my period, so not knowing, we thought it was just a low iron deficiency. So we go into the doctors, get a blood test, came back 2 days later and they told me that I had to go into the hospital and that I had to have a bone marrow biopsy. A bone marrow biopsy is when they take bone marrow out of your spine and they test it. We went home that night. My mum had two phones. Had on her phone waiting for the children's hospital to call, and the other one was my friend's mum, Bindu, who was a doctor, on my dad's phone. So while that was happening, I was in my room, like, really scared, like, oh my god, I hope it's not cancer, I hope it's not cancer, because my mum told me to go out of the room while the doctor was explaining this to her. Our friend said it just could be an infection and they just want to make sure that it isn't cancer. We go in that night, go into the emergency room, and they do a bunch of tests. The next day they put me up into a ward is where they do specifically one thing. The ward I went up to is because the cancer ward was filled. They put me into the koala ward where it is people who have just had heart surgery. So I was up there waiting for the results. The next day they came back, which was a couple of days after they came back, took my parents into a separate room and told them what it was. Then they came back into my room and told me what it was together. Unfortunately, obviously I cried, not knowing what cancer really was, thinking there was only a couple of types and people die from it, essentially. Treatment was about once a week, depending on what it was, and there's different cycles, so each cycle is a different chemo most of the time. So first cycle, I was actually in hospital for about a month and a half. Sometimes people get to leave during that cycle, but I didn't because I had an infection at the same time. With that time, they put a metal thing inside you, which also has a tube going up your neck and into your heart. This is so your veins don't waste away, and it was really hard to find your vein. So they do this, so it just helps your veins a little bit better. Unfortunately, my first one got infected, so they had to take it out a couple of weeks after I had just got it put in. Then they put another one in me about a month later after my body had completely healed from the first one. So they just put a little piece of plastic tube into my vein going this way, and I had to have it secured by a bandage. That also went up into my veins, and I think that's all it went to. I don't know if it actually went into my heart, but I'm pretty sure it just went into a vein, and that's what they did. Then a couple of weeks, a month after that, they put in my new one, and I've had that one for about 2 years now. I don't have it anymore. They took it out of me because it buckled, which means it stopped working. So they had to take that out about 3 months before I have actually finished. I finished in 3 months, and they took it out. They took it out about a month ago. So like I said, treatment is different for every stage. So we have methotrexate, pegfilgrastim, Arubidex, 6-MP, a bunch of other things. So that's like the treatments. There's a lot more I actually had to have to do with that and all that stuff. One of my worst treatments or chemotherapies or chemo or chemical therapy I had was the peg asparaginase. I am actually allergic to that one, anaphylactic, which means I obviously had to have a jab in my leg, which was an EpiPen, because it started making my throat swell up and I couldn't breathe anymore. After that, instead of having pig asparaginase, they had an alternative to that. But the bad thing is I had to come to the hospital 3 times a week and get it done into my leg. So I had to stab a pen into, like a needle into my leg and put it through that way, which was really unfortunate, but that's how it happened. Now I take tablets. I had to take tablets. I've had to take tablets the whole time through treatment. Just it's an extra thing they do. It just helps me. It's a part of treatment. Any treatment you really have to do that. So yeah, so I have tablets each night. There was pretty much tablets each night for the whole time. So yeah, it's just a thing that comes with it. So there's multiple different tablets. I'm not going to go through them all because it's different for each person and each treatment and all that stuff. So yeah, school, I got it in, I'll just tell you when I got it, the 22nd or 23rd of January 2014. It was a month after my birthday, which was really unfortunate. So I was 14 when I got it. I am now 15. I'm turning 16 this year, so I've had it for 2 years. And it was my first year of year 7, so obviously I was really looking forward to high school, as every kid is, because they're finally in high school. So I missed out on year 7. I went about 30 to 50 days of that. So yeah. And then year 8 I did about half the year. And now I'm in year 9 and I've probably missed about a week and a half of school in total, and first term is nearly finished. I have made amazing friends over the treatment. I have made one especially amazing friend. I have met so many amazing friends over this. I keep in touch with a lot of them, but there's one amazing friend. Her name is called Michaela. She actually goes to my school. She is like a best friend to me. She understands everything I go through. I understand everything she goes through. Actually, some of our medication is quite similar. One of them were actually exactly the same medication. Unfortunately, she actually has something else which she has to go through for her whole life, which was really unfortunate. Whereas with me, I have to go through it my whole life as well, but it's every 5 years, not every year. She actually has a video on her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is called Mickey Jess Hart. So her name I will leave in the description below, so you guys can check that out. So yeah, hers isn't cancer, hers is something else. I'll let her explain it, but she's been there most of the way. We didn't really know each other till second year, but she has been amazing and great through this. She asks me how I'm doing every time in the hospital. She's a great friend. I've also met amazing other people who have also had cancer or going through cancer now that I just talked to and all that stuff, which was amazing. Yeah, and the past 2 and a bit years has been hard. It's like I said, it's because I've missed a lot, and with that is brought along depression, which is not great. As you can see in the back, I've met a lot of famous people. So here is, you can't really see her, but it's Tahan from Big Brother. Here is Heidi Klum. She is a supermodel. Up here is Jared Ruffhead. Up there's Heidi Klum again and all that stuff. And I've met a couple of other people from Big Brother. I got a puppy dog halfway through just to make me feel better. It's been amazing. I'm just trying to look over here because I've got some more photos. I met Peter Hallier, Caulfield, who was a Hawthorn player a couple of years ago, Shane Caulfield. Some other people from Big Brother, Caleb, I went to 2 grand finals, Hawthorn grand finals. I go for Hawthorn. I went to the Sydney Hawthorn one in 2014 and the Eagles Hawthorn one in 2015, which I got given tickets by NAB for that one, which was amazing. I go to a lot of football games by one of the foundations. It's one of the things I get to do with my dad, which is amazing. So yeah. My friends have just sent me a couple of questions. I've got them written down here. One of them was, how has it changed my personality? It's changed my personality amazingly. I've matured a lot more. I do take a couple of things a bit more seriously, obviously, because I nearly lost my life, so that's what I could have. So I've taken my life a little bit more seriously and don't muck around and risk my life. So yeah. Have I made friends to do it? Like I said, yes, I have. I have made one of my best friends out of this journey, which is amazing. So yeah. And when I first got diagnosed, it was really hard because my great-grandma actually passed away in the same week, so it was really difficult for my family. But our friends actually put on a fundraiser for us, so that was amazing. They were great. I'm just going to go through some of the things. If you're a person with cancer watching this, if you're in Australia, get connected with Canteen. They're amazing, and you can actually talk to them on the internet, like with their counsellors. It's amazing. It's worked for me. Challenge. They're amazing. You get to do a lot of activities with them. I only know the one in Melbourne. I'm not sure if there's any other ones. Starlight is amazing. They actually give you a wish, which means you can do anything within Australia. If you live in Australia, obviously. If you're in America, you get Make a Wish, I think it's called. But Starlight gives you a wish. I haven't actually done my wish. I had my wish yet, but I have used it, and it's coming up in a couple of months. I'm actually going to Uluru with my family, which is awesome. Can't wait. And Ronald McDonald is really big help. I actually went to Queensland. I actually used to live up there, and we went up there to actually see our friends, and we're actually going to another place with Ronald McDonald, which is Bateman's Bay, which is just somewhere in New South Wales, which is really fun. So yeah, that is my cancer story. If you have any other questions down below, I might do a Q&A on that if you would like. So yeah, see ya.